testing, testing, testing. Okay, folks. Stand by. I'm having some testing, testing. No, I'm getting some feedback. I'm not sure what happened there. Testing, testing. Let's try that. I have been having some issues today with my computer. I'll be online and I probably need a new computer. My computer will just turn off or I'll lose the internet. So PBR says sound. I didn't, but I do now. Patty says brr, hi. All right, so yes, very, very cold. A lot of comments about no sound, understandably. So let's see. Keep losing volume today. Today's silent movies. SBC says sound went out again. Okay, well, hopefully. Well, I had it on, but there was like a little bit of an echo on my end, so I was afraid we were going to get some kind of feedback. Renee says, I feel better. Well, my arm does just a little bit, just as long as I don't move it. Hey, Houston, I can't hear anything. There is no audio buffering. That is correct. Patty, okay, I'm still getting comments about no sound. All right, let me scroll ahead. D says, good evening, everyone. Silent movie night. Let's see. We're well into this, several minutes in, and let's see. If I can catch up to some comments that maybe don't have are not about sound issues. Let's see, you got sound, sorry I can't type, but it says, all right, cool, there you are, D says, all right. Hi everyone, it's Chiller Night. It sure is, Al. Chiller Night with sound and everything. A Chiller Night live in Keller and with sound. So how about that? Patty says, sorry to hear about computer. I can't go through to Fujifilm's 800 number, just busy signal. Bonus says, I get an echo too. It's just the voices in my head. You got sound now, he says. All right. Tom says, I hear you all the way in Alabama. I hear you. Cool. I'm that loud. All right. So I am on, apparently, SBC says, before you buy a new computer, try updating or reinstalling the operating system. I could very well do that. I don't know. I've just been noticing this week, though, that I'll lose internet. So if that does happen, I can't promise it won't during the duration of the rest of the show. But if it does, you know, I haven't been abducted by aliens. Nothing bad has happened. My house hasn't fallen into a time warp of any type. I just have some glitches on my computer. So hopefully this week I will get stuff figured out. But as far as OBS, which is who I restream through, I've had no updates. I've had no reason why that should have happened. So I'm not sure what happened. And before I get the onslaught of comments from the angry trolls, you know who you are. Oh, it happens. It just happens sometimes. So, if only there were something else to watch on TV or the internet. If only, for those of you. Before you buy, voices inside your head are fine, Bones, unless they tell you to do something bad, Patty says. All right. Renee says, Boba Fett, Jack Shadow action figures. Oh, I know, we're surrounded by coolness. Jack Shadow, Boba Fett. Our book there about Krampus and the mummy plaque there. By golly, just a fun place to be, I'm telling you. Or Mel's Hole, Ava says, yeah. We were watching the Y-Files about that. Do you ever hear of that phenomenon where they There were, a farmer was, and I'm trying to remember this from months ago. I've seen this, throwing items in here and they would just disappear, which, makes sense if you're throwing stuff in a hole. But it became a little bit more involved than that. And, well, you'll have to look it up. Check it out on the Y Files. Pretty interesting little story there. SPC says, I was sick all week, but it is getting better. Well, glad to hear that. Take your vitamin C and zinc, young man. And hopefully you'll pop right out of that. Ava says, our house I'm speaking of. Oh, our house falling into that. Bonehead says, I'm thinking Brian meant me in that angry trolls comment, LOL. No, I'm not. I get on here just to have fun, a good time, a lighthearted hour. But there are some people out there who get very, very upset. And sometimes the content in which we talk about, sometimes the quality of the show, and they leave their, I don't know if they're drunk comments, and then they delete them later, but I've already read them. With me, I don't comment because I don't care, but, it is kind of funny that somebody would invest that much emotional investment into something like this. But Patty says, tomorrow I will be a year shy of 6 decades. Wow, a year shy of 6 decades. I'm not too far behind you. But wait a minute, tomorrow, well, happy early birthday to you, Patty. All right, so tomorrow is Patty's birthday, so happy birthday to Patty. We're at the stroke of midnight. She'll have completed another rotation around the sun. So congratulations on another successful trip, Patty. And we hope you have a very happy birthday. Do you have any plans? Or do you got to go to work and spend your day there? Or hopefully you have something fun in mind. So happy birthday, happy birthday. I'm glad we got our sound back so that I could appropriately wish you a happy birthday. Bonehead says, Mel's hole. Oh boy, did my mind just go in the gutter with that one. It's not that kind of show, Bonehead. Ava says, happy early birthday, Pat Savan. D says, nah, Chiller Night Live takes priority. I have an Alexa reminder at 7:50 every Tuesday to make sure I do. Really? Oh, that's cool. That's pretty neat. Oh, I don't miss it. Some of that was off the screen. Happy birthday. Everyone's wishing Patty a happy birthday. Very cool. All right. So, anybody see any good horror movies, or even bad ones, that you care to share? Well, let's see. Ava and I watched The Watchers. It was on, I think, Netflix or something like that. And it wasn't bad. Wasn't a bad movie. Something just came up on my phone. But just now. It was kind of cool because it kind of dealt with like well, actually I can't really tell you what it dealt with because there's a potential spoiler there if I do. So, but it is of these people who are trapped in the woods, and there are these beings that are observing them out in the woods, and they have a set of rules that they have to stay inside some kind of structure at night. They can't be out wandering around at night. They have to stay in place and be observed, to be watched, and they can't break that rule, or bad things will happen. Bad things. Kevin says, good evening. Hope you are doing well. I am doing very well, Kevin. Thanks for joining us. Hope you are too. Let's see. You're just a kiddo, Pat, Tom says. Al says, happy birthday, Patty. I'm right there with you with my 6th decade celebrated 4 months ago. Just a number. It's just a number. Dr. Sleep. D says, okay, that sounds familiar. I think I've heard of that one, Dr. Sleep. I I don't believe that I've seen. Is that the one with the guy who played Obi-Wan Kenobi off of the prequel trilogy? Is that am I in the right ballpark there? Bonin says, I'm only 21 years old. I've been that way for 34 years now. Stephanie says, just recently, Night of the Living Dead, 1968, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, and Monster Club. Ah, cool. Any of those three that you just named for the first time? Or you just recently watched them again? Renee says, no, I'm the only one who got abducted by extraterrestrial aliens, Bryan Hogue. Let me refresh your memory for a third week. Sorry, I can't type it out. I have to retrieve it from a clipboard. Give me a second. Not a problem. I'm going to I have to I wonder why I've got only part of the chat on the screen. This is weird. I've got strange things occurring on my screen tonight. Watcher sounds like a zoo. Kind of in a way. PBR says, watched another Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee combo, 1959's The Mummy. Ah, cool. Yes. Hammer was really cool with their versions of the classic Universal monster movies, and then when they kind of reinvented theirs, it was really neat. 1959 too. It's pretty neat that they started all their stuff just a year before that with Frankenstein and their version of Frankenstein Dracula. Renee says, Friday the 13th, December 2024, saw 4 illuminated plasma doobie joint UFOs outside my hospital windows. What kind of medicine did they give you? Too big. Why is this thing? Wow, my screen. I wonder if I can just. Has to be a way. Folks, bear with me for another moment here. I'm only getting part of your comments. Let me see if I can. Yeah, something's up here tonight. Something's up. Size of buildings and 2 jet fighters size after suffering missing time and a broken arm. Wow. That's quite a story, definitely. But it says, there is something wrong with me, I think. I got a short circuit, a major malfunction. Sounds like my computer died. And the mental mainframe, methinks. PBR says, also just watched Salem's Lot. Now reading it, both great. The original Salem's Lot, the one from back in the 70s, or an updated version? Just curious. But hope you enjoy the book. I have not read the book, but I heard it was very, very good. Dr. Shrinker, Dr. Fives, Renee said. Speaking of doctors. Brian Ivers, hey Brian, thanks for joining us, says Dr. Sleep is a sequel to The Shining. Oh, that's it. And the guy who played Ian McGregor played Danny, all grown up, D says. Okay. I see. And then D says, Dr. Sleep was a sequel to The Shining. Abundance says, I'd be one of them in Strange Things, I do believe. Renee says, if you don't remember, for over a month now, I've had a broken arm. I do remember that. And hopefully in a couple more weeks, usually takes a good 6 weeks or so to mend a broken bone. So hopefully that'll be better in a few weeks for you. Bonin says, don't do what I do. Just hit a bunch of buttons and see where that'll get you. Get you on here. Get you somewhere. Hang in there, Bones. Stephanie says. SBC says, I just watched a bad movie called Weird Asian Child Chases the Blonde Babe from Buffy. Stupid ending and no nudity. Really? You would think with a name like that, I don't know, that anything would be possible anyways. Weird Asian child chases the blonde babe from Buffy. That's the actual title, huh? Okay. I can say I've never seen that one. Patty says, sorry, busy here today. Thank you all for the happy birthday wishes. I plan to see She-Wolf of London tomorrow. She-Wolf of London. Well, let us know what you think of that. Thank you all. Okay. So that'll be your birthday movie. Sounds fun. PBR says 1979 Salem's Lot. I remember seeing that when I was a kid. That was like a special on TV, like a mini series. I think it only ran like maybe 2 nights, but it was one of those special movies of the week, like the CBS movie of the week or something like that, if I remember right. I just remember seeing that and that being so, I don't know, I thought that was so scary as a kid watching that. There were certain scenes in it that I just thought were so frightening. I remember the little kids, floating outside the window, scratching on his brother's window. That just really creeped me out. The part where the kid sat up and attacked the gravedigger guy, and also the guy in the rocking chair sitting there, and you can see his eyes glowing. And then there was one scene, particularly at the end, where David Soul's character and the kids are in the basement, and you see the vampires start to crawl in. I think it was the kid, and you can see all the vampires starting to crawl toward him, behind him, and he doesn't know that they're coming for him. And you're just sitting there like, oh, look behind you, and he does, and he's able to shut the door in time. But that was a really good movie. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's see. SBC said, nope, typo, that was the plot. Okay, well, that wasn't the title of the movie. Oh, that was the plot. All right, so weird alien child chases the blonde babe from Buffy. All right, I thought that sounded like a bit of a crazy title, but She-Wolf sounds like a good horror movie, Renee says. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Well, folks, let's see. I will take this time. It seems like we're still up and running. We still have audio. You can still see me. I can see you, except for your. It's not how I prefer. It's not how it's been for the last 5 years, but that's okay. All right, we're just actually no. We've been doing this for quite a bit longer than 5 years. More like 7, something like that. 7 or 8 years. Let's see. But I say, don't forget, every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Chiller Night Live on Stream TV. Right there at streammedia.tv. Streammedia.tv, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, every Saturday night. If you just want to watch it whenever, wherever, you can still go on the YouTube channel, Chiller Night YouTube channel, and check it out. And also, if you're on YouTube, if you haven't yet, just like and subscribe to this channel, and even hit the notification bell, and you will be notified, so they say, of the videos when I'm streaming live and all that good stuff. So, or when I've uploaded another video, which I don't ever really do. This is all that we have on the channel at this time. So, but that's okay. I think everyone still has a good time. So Chiller Night Live, and also gonna plug the store. Just I was gonna say right out the gate, but we're about 25 minutes into it. So Chiller Night at the Cranberry Mall in Venango County, Pennsylvania. That's Venango County. Venango County. Up in the Oil City, Franklin area. Our store hours are Monday and Tuesday closed. Wednesday 6 to 8. Thursday 6 to 8. Friday 6 to 8. And Saturday 3 to 8. And Sunday we are closed. These are the hours so far right now going into 2025 because I'm working on an addition to the store, which is going to kind of, hopefully I can utilize Mondays a bit more. Rather than just sitting at the counter of the store, I can be working on stuff. And don't forget, I have 2 horror-themed escape rooms. We have the Witching Hour and Zombie Outbreak. So if you're into escape rooms and you're up in my neck of the woods, if you want to book those, you can dial 1-844-209-8214, or you can just go online at chillernight.com and book an escape room. So there you have it. Patty says, She-Wolf of London, 1946, part of the Wolfman Legacy collection on DVD. I have that one. She-Wolf of London. I know I've seen it, but I gotta be honest, I don't remember it that well. It's like Dracula's Daughter. I know I saw that one, but I really couldn't tell you much about it. Dracula's Daughter. I have that one. I know that it was a direct sequel to Dracula, the 1931 Dracula. I do know that because it takes place in the, Van Helsing just, drove the stake through Dracula's heart. And Edward Van Sloan still is playing Dracula in the movie. And I think it starts out with him being accused of murder because the police at that point of time don't understand yet that this was a vampire, this was a monster, an undead, a Nosferatu. So, interesting. So, but any other movies other than Doctor Sleep and Weird Asian Child chases blonde babe from Buffy? Any other movies? Salem's Lot. Okay. Patty will be watching She-Wolf of London. Patty says they gaslight her into thinking she's a werewolf. I wonder how. What turn of events have to take place to convince somebody that they're a werewolf? I don't know. I know there are. I probably shouldn't even get into the certain 3-letter agencies that have perfected that skill in mind control on unsuspecting folks, but I forget just how they do. That sounds kind of vague to me. I've seen these movies, like some of them, like Dracula's Daughter and She-Wolf of London, like so many years ago, probably 30 years ago, that I just really don't have a good memory of them. Or Mark of the Vampire, which was not a Universal movie, but Bela Lugosi or Return of the Vampire. Did you guys ever see those? Dracula Daughter, Patty says Dracula Daughter, she wants to be cured and ends up falling in love and kidnaps his love to force him to join her as a vampire. Now that brings back some kind of memory. PBR says Dracula's Daughter, she had a magic amulet, or was it a magical ring? That's a good question. Does anybody remember that one? As far as the jewelry, the amulet, or the ring, Stephanie says, how's the temperatures outside for everyone? I'll tell you right now. Let's see. At least here where I am at, it is 3 degrees, feels like -9. So pretty cold, and then I know that by morning it's supposed to get, it just is very cold, like 8 degrees, but I know in the morning it'll be about -10 at some point, -9, -10. So, gonna be a little cold here for a few days. In She-Wolf, they use murders and drugs. I see. Renee says 2 hours and 5 hours opened at mall. Yeah, and the reason for that, Renee, the hours, you know, they don't seem. But see, I work all day during the day, so during the weekdays, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, for example, I work until 4. By the time I actually get to the mall, travel the distance to get there, I can reasonably open up by 6. Sometimes I get there earlier, and if I get there earlier, if I do happen to get there at 5, you know, quarter after, anytime between 5 and 6, I do actually open it up. But I just put 6 just to be on the safe side. But yeah. And Saturday's an all day, 3 to 8. And so, Dee says that was the plot in Hubie Halloween. It was a riot. Hubie Halloween. Oh, is that the Adam Sandler movie? Yeah. Patty says 15 degrees here. Ah, okay. That sounds pretty cold. 15 degrees. It was, I think it was either 15, I think it was 15 degrees the last day of 2019 when I was out tearing down the haunted house, the Harrisville haunted house, the last day. It was either 15 or 13 degrees. It was something like that. So it was pretty cold, and I'm glad I'm indoors. But just speaking of that, I mean, my store's a little chilly during the winter, but it's a lot better than being out in the elements. But it says it's unusually cold down here in Texas. We're under a freeze warning. Ah. Renee says Nosferatu's still in the movie theaters, and there's also another movie called Wolfman. Yes. We were talking about Wolfman within the last week or two. We were talking about that, and I'm not a fan of how they got the Wolfman looking. But maybe it'll be a good movie. I thought, what a strange choice for a Wolfman. Maybe they'll explain it in the movie, why it looks so different than what you're... It just looks like a crazy old man, you know? SBC says, which horror film has the most nude scenes? Which horror film has the most nude scenes? Oh, man. I'm just going back to like the old Friday the 13th or 80s slasher movies. I'm guessing it'd be something like that. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Maybe it's something to Google. 5 degrees here, Dee says. Pretty cool. PBR says magical omelet. It made me laugh out loud. Yeah, I wasn't even trying for that. Patty says the jewelry was used to hypnotize her victims. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Tom says, LOL. So going to make a horror movie centered around a magical omelet. Yeah, you should. Like an egg that was hatched by a sinister being and some kind of gargoyle or something. I don't know. I guess it wouldn't have to be malevolent. Renee says omelet with sausage, bacon, diced tomatoes, diced onions, and American cheese. Yes, well now we're really getting specific on the omelet. The magical omelet. Weather here is pretty disgusting, SBC says, but the sun comes out sometimes during the day. I was actually pretty happy with that we got some snow, because now, before I hear a bunch of what, I just got a new snowblower like within the week, and it wasn't snowing. It wasn't snowing. So finally, it snowed enough on a few days. I was able to go out and use it a couple days. So I was kind of happy just for that. The novelty, the thrill will wear off soon, I assure you. And I will be looking forward to spring, where I can mow. But it says, I'll watch it, Tom, as long as you don't scramble any plot lines. Alice is 4 degrees here by me in Olymphin, PA. Stephanie says, my area was so cold today, I skipped book club this morning, which is probably better because I pulled a muscle last week. Oh no! That's not good. Yeah. Probably would be worse in the cold with it, constricting. And yeah, stay in, stay warm, stay comfortable. You're cracked, bonehead. Oh, there's an egg and a skull joke there. Bona says, you just now realizing that, Tom, after all these years? LOL. SBC, has anyone watched Manos this week? No, I can't say that I have. No. Anybody else? Let's see. D says, I'm excited that season 2 of School Spirits will finally be arriving. School Spirits? What's that? I've not heard of that one. D, was that is that like something that's streaming right now? Tom says, most nude scenes? I'll bet it's Italian. Yeah, maybe it was like Frankenstein's daughter or something. Yeah, some of those old ones had quite a bit. Well, at least that one did. Renee says, it's 61 degrees here in San Francisco. Feels like 66. Oh, okay. Wow. That sounds pretty nice right about now. Renee says, it's 83 degrees in my country where I was born at the Philippines. Feels like 88. Ah, you're checking on the... Are you checking on the... Where do I have? Anywhere? Let's see. I have the Outer Banks, because sometimes I like to keep up on that. Usually go there. If I have any other... I do. I have Mildenhall, England. 36 degrees in Mildenhall right now. And speaking of the Outer Banks, 29 degrees. That's pretty cold. That's pretty cold for there, I would imagine. New York, 16 degrees, and we're going to look at different places around the States. And it's saying -1 degrees right here in Harrisville. Renee says, how is it possible to be near 0 temperatures where you guys live? It just happens. I don't know. I'm not thrilled about it, but yeah, you make the most of it. I'll tell you what, though, with winter, I'm okay with the snow and the winter and all that good stuff through the holidays. I'm okay. And then, like, New Year's Eve, it could just go. In fact, I was just talking to Ava about this. Like, we were talking about, like, maybe one of these days we'll become like snowbirds and just go to Florida for the winter. Stay here for Christmas, but then right after Christmas go. I wouldn't mind celebrating New Year's Eve in some warm weather. Sorry. Let's see. Tom says, our low tonight in central Bama will be 12 degrees. Brr. That's pretty cold. That's pretty cold. D says it's a TV series on Paramount Plus. Oh, okay. I don't think we get Paramount Plus. So that's going into season 2. Renee says, yes, Abe and Brian, my arm and shoulder feels better. I have movement as the days and hopefully for the next 2 months passes by. It's just achy and itchy. Well, hopefully, yes, hopefully that heals up quickly, and hopefully your arm heals up in at least a couple weeks. D says, I love Outer Banks and miss it terribly. Where did you vacate? We go all over. We normally go to like Kitty Hawk in that area there, so we seem to enjoy that. I know a couple years ago we got a beach house right on the beach, and I love that. I just love waking up and seeing the sun coming up and just, hitting the water, and it is just great. Mildenhall, U.S. Air Force Base. Yes, yes. That's why I have that in there. I don't know why. I don't remember putting that in there, but I scrolled and then at some point I put that in there. I was kind of curious to check out Mildenhall. I think I was Google mapping it one time. Trying to just bringing back old memories. I probably did that with Maxwell Air Force Base and some of the others. Just kind of checking it out. Like, I remember that. I remember that. It doesn't seem like that long ago, but in a way it was. I mean, I don't know, to me, like if somebody's told me 1991, like I'm right in my head. It's like, oh, that was a few years ago. Like, it doesn't register for a little bit, like, I was like, wait a minute, no, that's a long time ago. But yeah, been a while. SBC says it's beer freezing -2 here in Munich. Oh, yeah, well, that's pretty cool. Renee says, not sure where the top is going tonight, but Brian, I see you're very energetic and not sleepy today. Yeah, no, I seem to be okay for now. Yeah. If anything, I think my computer will give out before I do. Tom says, I went to junior high school at High Wycombe Air Force Base. Oh, is that right? Huh. Interesting. I remember RAF Mildenhall, Royal Air Force Mildenhall is a base, of course, and Lakenheath, RAF Lakenheath, with just miles apart from each other. So I was back in. I went there and at the very end of '89, like the very last days of '89, and I think I got there in time for Christmas, and I stayed there, I think, for 2 years at Mildenhall before I came back stateside. Al says, right now it's 73 in Miami. So lucky. Oh, that would be nice. That would be real nice. Patty says, gotta go. Stay safe. You too. And have a very happy birthday tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Renee says, the low temperature tonight in here in San Francisco is 56. That's your low? Oh, that'd be nice. Duck, North Carolina is my favorite. Okay. I think we've been there before. We've kind of over the years that we go, we've kind of been all along the stretch, but we normally end up in Kill Devil's Hill or Kitty Hawk. We normally gravitate a little bit more in those areas. Tom says, Maxwell Air Force Base, about an hour-and-a-half drive from here. Oh, really? That's cool. It'd be neat to see that again. It's been so long. I think I got there in '88. At like the very beginning of '88. Yeah. and then left there at the very end of '89. That's how that worked out. Let's see. Renee says, I saw Cabin in the Woods on Tubi or Pluto TV. Awesome horror. Renee says, that ginormous cobra. What, with Cabin in the Woods? There was a ginormous bat. Renee says, there was even a Hellraiser Cenobite-looking dude. Yeah. I think I do vaguely remember that. It's been a while since I've seen that one, too. Yeah. Tom says, hi, weapon, Air Force Base, about 90 miles from Mildenhall. Do you remember about what, was it north or west of? Like, I'm familiar, vaguely familiar with it. I don't know that I don't think I've ever been there. But Richard says, I can see Canada. Haven't posted in a long time. It's 0 out here. Well, thanks for joining us, Richard. Let me see where you are. Oh, you are on Facebook. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Appreciate that. Oh, you're in Algonac, Michigan. Okay. You can see Canada. All right. Renee says, the dude that played Thor was in the movie too. Yeah, I do remember that. Hey, you know what I thought was interesting? See if I can find the post on YouTube. Somebody had discovered the show, I guess this show, and Chiller Night Theater. Let me read this again, because I'm curious to see what channel. Oh, Tom, I'll check that out here in just a second here. Just sent me a text. I'll pull that up maybe for next week. But they were talking about they were watching, I think they meant Chiller Night Theater. Yeah, I'm sure. I believe they mentioned Jack Shadow. But they were watching this on a public access channel in Colorado. And I don't remember if it was like Denver or something like that. But if you're watching again tonight, welcome, and I hope you enjoy the show. The beginning was a little iffy. I didn't know whether we were going to recover our sound or not, but that's kind of interesting. I don't know what all channels that Chiller Night Theater does play. I sometimes get messages that, hey, I'm so-and-so, and I enjoy watching your show. I watch it on this channel here in my area, and we have Chiller Night Theater in like a public access library. So I don't know where all it's playing, but that's neat. If you do watch Chiller Night Theater on your local access channels, let me know. I'd love to know where you're at and where you're watching it. So, and I appreciated that that viewer let me know that. Let's see. D says, can anyone enlighten me on the meaning of the end in? I've watched it a couple times and I'm still not getting it completely. ENDIND? No, I couldn't help you there, D. I've not seen that. Oh, check your text. That's right, Tom says. Oh, okay. I see. Oh yeah, that's not far. That's not far. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. 2 hours, 31 minutes. Interesting. Let's see. SPC says, which classic horror characters would you like to be stranded with on a desert island? Which classic horror characters? would I like to be stranded with on a desert island? Maybe the creature from the Black Lagoon. Well, that's a salt. That's not. You would be on a desert island, so I imagine we'd be surrounded with salt water. I don't know if he can handle that or not. Because I was thinking he could go get the fish and bring it back, and we could just be pals, and you know, I don't know. I could build fires, you know, and he could, you know, get us food, and I just think it'd be we'd make a pretty good team. How about anybody else? That's a different question, isn't it? Which classic horror characters would you like to be stranded with on a desert island? All right. Anybody else? Even Frankenstein's monster. Because if you get on his good side, and you don't do anything to, you know, make sudden combative gestures or I just said I'd light a fire. Well, I'd say, okay, I'd give him plenty of warning. Okay, just sit over there. You know, fire good here. And then maybe he could just bang on the coconut trees and, you know, we'd figure it out. D says, yep, chiller night every Saturday. Very cool. Renee says, public access television. Renee says they need to make a Marvel versus DC movie. Well, that would be interesting. That'd be interesting. I know they've done, you know, numerous crossovers, and I know what I don't understand is the heroes are always fighting. Heroes are always fighting, even in Marvel, all the heroes are fighting. DC, they're always fighting. Why are they always fighting? They're supposed to be on the same side, but I don't know. I guess it's like a soap opera. It makes for good drama. Renee says they need to make a Star Trek versus Star Wars movie. Wouldn't that be? Oh my gosh! Could you imagine the crowds that would come in from both of those franchises? See that. D says, how about the Invisible Man? Oh, there's one. Okay. Renee says, Dracula. Stephanie says, same answer as Brian's. SBC says, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a Marvel versus Disney movie. Renee says, Frankenstein. Okay, about being on the island there. Al says, I would like the Wolfman on an island. He would make a pretty good pet for company. Yeah, now, you know, depending on whether these were a friendly version of, if they were, okay, I'll tell you what, if they were, you know, the menacing monsters, you know, they're out to get you, I would like to be on there with the Mummy, because I could outrun him or outwalk him any day of the week, you know, without any effort whatsoever. It's only when he gets his one good hand on you that you're in trouble. So I think I could avoid that. Pretty confident that I could escape the Mummy. Except for the Boris Karloff Mummy. Now, he had those magical powers that could hurt you with his mind. Richard says, been a fan for some time. Almost forgot about you. Been busy, no time to social. On island with Karen Black. Oh, okay. Here you go. There's an answer. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Richard. Richard's on Facebook. Bonin says, Invisible Man, I wouldn't have to see him. Renee says, the legality hoops they'd have to go through would make their heads explode. Yeah, just think of the whole Sony Marvel thing. I mean, look how long that took. It's taking. Took or taking? I don't know if that's all like resolved or not, because I haven't kept up with it. I just know back when it was going on, it was a mess. Tom says, the Mummy, because you have some toilet paper for at least a while. At least a while. I don't know how happy he'll be about that. Let's see. Renee says, the Bride of Frankenstein. Yeah. She doesn't seem all that menacing. Just a little grumpy, you know. Well, maybe hard to get along with. But, I mean, other than that, I really don't see her being much of a danger. But it says, you know, you're right, Tom. Definitely gonna need TP, LOL. Stephanie says, I like Marvel in the Walking Dead universe or Middle Earth. Marvel in the Walking Dead. You mean to put Marvel characters in the Walking Dead? Or if that's what you mean, that'd be kind of interesting. I know that they have some kind of zombie alternative universe. Of course, they have too many multiverse stories, but that would be kind of neat. Not to have a zombie superhero with his like awareness, but to actually make him just a dumb zombie. You know, he's only out to eat and kill you. SBC says, how about a Star Trek versus Battlestar Galactica movie? Interesting. Yeah, why not? Renee says, The Brides of Dracula. Yeah. Yeah, there's an interesting option there. But it says, Tom, what you wipe with the other is out of sight. SBC says, Dracula would probably not enjoy the sun on the island. No, he'd probably have to bury himself in sand or something during the day. Renee says, awesome live show tonight, Brian and Ava. Oh, thank you, Renee. Thanks for joining us. It is, it's coming up on that time. Richard says, Linda Blair. I met her once, and I'll tell you what, she's pretty short. She's small, pretty small lady. Very, very nice. SBC says, Frankenstein's Bride would also be a good choice. Yeah, like I said, I don't think she would be much of a... I don't know. We haven't really seen much of her. Like what her abilities in the movies are, other than she was just reanimated. Didn't like the monster. Was pretty partial to Dr. Frankenstein. And you know how those love triangles go. They never end up good. So, you know... Things didn't end up well. You know what I found interesting? The castle blows up with Dr. Pretorius in there and Frankenstein's monster and the bride. The three get blown up. The monster, Frankenstein's monster, survives. Goes on to do another movie. Was it The Ghost of Frankenstein? I think it was the next one. No. The son of Frankenstein. The son of Frankenstein. Ghost was after he fell into the molten pit. Okay, or the sulfur pit. So the monster survived. What about the bride? I guess she was completely annihilated with the explosion, with Dr. Pretorius. I've wondered about that before. There's three of them in the castle. It blows up, or the laboratory, I should say. And the castle ruins the laboratory. The three blow up, and the monster is the only one that lives. So I often wondered, like, why did the bride... Did they not make her in the same way? Was her atoms not supercharged or something? I don't know. Richard says Ingrid Pitt. Okay, it's becoming like a wish list. D says Marvel zombies. Yeah. Yep. Stephanie says Marvel characters in either the Walking Dead universe or in Middle Earth. That would be, yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. It'd be kind of neat. Okay, I think it'd be cool to see the Punisher in the Walking Dead universe. I mean, it'd be kind of neat. Could you think Spider-Man or Thor or something like that? Wouldn't it be kind of neat to see one that really didn't have any powers other than just highly, highly trained? Or maybe that's not at all what you'd like to see. I just initially think that'd be cool. But it says, I wouldn't mind the Tar Man. Yeah, Tar Man. All he eats is brains. And we know I ain't got none of them. So yeah, all right. You'd be feeling pretty secure there. Renee says, Frankenstein is perfect for the desert island. You could outrun him. Yes, yeah. Renee says, Creature from the Black Lagoon is not a perfect match for the desert island. He can swim around the island and find you easily. Yeah, that's why it'd have to be a friendly version of it. Have to get along and commit to some teamwork. SBC says Manos would be a clear choice for a certain member of this group, I suppose. Yeah, Paul, if you're watching this at a later time, I have no doubt that you would choose Manos. The Hands of Fate. Renee says, if Dracula turned into a vampire bat, he could summon all the bats in the caves and attack you. That's not a good match neither on Gilligan's Desert Island. No, and Dracula would not be, you could not trust him for nothing, by golly. Jesus. Let's see. Renee says, the Wolfman can unfortunately summon other wolves on the island and kill you with them in a wolf pack attack. Yeah, would wolves be a threat on a desert island, though? I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they'd be indigenous to a desert island. Who knows? Tom says, good night. Oh, you degenerates. See you next week. All right. Take care. See you next week, Stephanie says. Renee says, Superman in the Resident Evil universe. Oh, that'd be cool. What could touch him? What could hurt Superman in there? Renee says, Spider-Man in the Hellraiser universe. That was kind of a neat to mix them. Maybe we could do more of that next week. All right, so next week I will strive to make sure that the audio, everything is functioning properly, and we'll just give it another honest effort next week. Bonus says, thanks to Brian, Miss Ava, and the Chiller Night crew for another great show. Stay safe and warm, and see you next week. Yes, you as well. So thank you for joining me and each other for another episode of Chiller Night Live. Have a good night. Have a good Chiller Night. We'll see you next week.